Hello world. So you have top Shaolin style. What's up? What's up? How y'all doing? Sitting here looking at this article here. It's a nice article. I'm gonna leave a link in the description box. The title of the article is this. It's talking about the Xbox Series S and X. Says here the Xbox Series X is the closest consoles have ever been to gaming PC. I could remember they said something similar to that about the Xbox One X, but the Xbox Series X is the closest console have ever been to gaming PC. In this article, it shows the spec sheets for both Xbox Series X and S, and it shows you everything. But there's something, there's something in the article that caught my attention that I want to read to you guys. He was talking about there were certain people, Digital Foundry came out and tried to take shots at the Series X, right? At the Series S. Then there were some YouTubers that came out and tried to take shots at the Series S and about the capabilities of it, right? But when Microsoft came out, since Microsoft, Phil Spencer, Bill Gates, the entire crew, they created the Xbox Series X and S, and they know the capabilities of it, and they gave you the spec sheets, right? They told you that the Xbox Series S can hit 1440p, and the Xbox Series X is 4K, and it can go up to 8K because Ori right now is can go up to 6K. So anyway, so people use Yakuza Like a Dragon to attack the Xbox Series S and the capabilities of it, right? So in video game consoles, it usually takes about 3 years. When the console first come out, it usually takes 3 years for you to get the hang of it, to see what you can really, how far you can push the limit with the console, right? Okay. So you had Digital Foundry saying some things about the Xbox Series X that wasn't cool, Series S and X that wasn't cool. But like I just told you, it usually takes you 3 years to get things going with new consoles. And then some game programmers are on different wavelengths. Some might have 5 years of experience, some may have 6, some may have 10, some may have 15. It depends on the developer. So in this article, there's something that caught my attention that I want to bring up, that I want to read to you, but I'm gonna leave a link in the description box. Listen to this. It says, ultimately it is, wait a minute, let me go back up. It said, but for all their focus on resolution and frame rates, the lack of customability firmly drives home that these are still consoles. For better or worse, you don't get a choice whether you prefer one or the other. You're simply stuck with whatever the developers lumps you with, much like previous consoles experience. Of course, this does create a level playing field if you're of a more competitive disposition, but it leaves much to be desired if you're happy to sacrifice graphical quality for more frames. But here's the answer to the problem with the Xbox Series S and X. And remember, I told you it takes about 3 years. Listen to this. It says ultimately it is up to the developers to determine resolution and frame rates based on their creative vision. We expect most developers to target 4K at 60 frames per second. However, the experience will vary based on what they are trying to achieve. Jason explained, but all hope is not lost, as developers can also offer options to players for increased frame rates or increased resolution depending on their creative vision. But I'm gonna go back to the middle of the paragraph where it says, however, the experience will vary based on what they're trying to achieve. So when it comes down to game programming, game development, game programming, it all comes down to the experience of the companies, the developer themselves, the experience. So that Yakuza Like a Dragon, when they try to use it to attack the Xbox Series S, that engine was weak, okay? And the developers didn't put much time in it. And then there were rumors of Capcom complaining, complaining about, there was rumors of Capcom complaining. But it all comes back down to the developers themselves and their experience in programming and then using that language to achieve what they want to achieve. So it does come down. So experience does matter when it comes to game development. It's quality over quantity. It's not about how many games you get. It's quality over quantity, and experience do matter. So for people to be taking shots at the Xbox Series X and S, the people at Microsoft already know what these systems can do. They already know what these systems are capable of doing, and that's why they send out those black box and white box to like test the console, and that should give so the developers can get the hang of get a taste of the new hardware and see what they can do with it. But at the end of the day, it all comes back down to the experience of the developer, and that will tell how far the games that they're making will go. So it's not about quality. It's not about quantity. It's about quality, and experience really matters in video games. It really does. So people taking shot at the Xbox Series S and X, and they were trying to complain about the storage. All of that was clickbait. That was really, really clickbait. And it takes 3 years. When a new console hits the market, it usually takes 3 years because your first 3 years are test years to see what this console can really do. But to rush to judgment and saying the console can't do this when the manufacturers themselves know what the console can really do is wrong. But anyway, I'm gonna leave a link in the description box for this article so you can read it. So it's a nice one. It's a nice article. So it explained the Xbox Series S and X in full detail, and you will know what you're getting based on the spec sheets that's in that article. But anyway, nice talking to you beautiful people. It's Chris. Knows the Star Wars and Star Trek thing. Or Dark Side. I'm gone. Peace.